Whoa! The cruel sting of hindsight, isn't it? It makes you wonder, if you could just rewind the clock, armed with the painful knowledge of everything that unfolded, would you make the same choices? Would you take a different path? For the San Francisco 49ers, after a season that had its share of unexpected twists and turns, that very question is being posed. Could they rethink their entire 2024 NFL draft strategy if they had a crystal ball showing them how things would actually play out? It's a fascinating, slightly agonizing hypothetical, and one that Christopher Knox over at Bleacher Report decided to explore for every single team in the league, stepping back in time and projecting how the 2024 draft might have unfolded with the full, unvarnished benefit of retrospective vision. In this alternate reality, this redraft scenario crafted by Knox, the top of the draft board looks dramatically different right from the jump. The Chicago Bears, originally selecting quarterback Caleb Williams first overall, instead pivot and select Jaden Daniels, the dynamic dual-threat quarterback who, in our actual reality, went on to claim the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year award. This shift sends Caleb Williams, the consensus QB1 for so long, sliding down just one spot to the Washington Commanders at the second overall pick, effectively flipping the order of the top two signal caller selections based on their real-world rookie impacts. But what about our San Francisco 49ers? They originally held the 31st pick in the first round, a selection they used to bring wide receiver Ricky Pearsall into the fold. In this redraft universe, Knox believes the 49ers would find themselves staring down a genuinely difficult decision, one that might lead them away from their actual first-round pick and toward a different standout rookie from their own 2024 class, but in a different round. Now, to understand the weight of this hypothetical choice for the 49ers in the redraft, we have to consider the specific, unfortunate knowledge they possess in this alternate timeline. First, they know about Ricky Pearsall's incredibly unfortunate start to his rookie journey. His debut season was tragically interrupted almost before it began after he was shot in the chest during an attempted robbery in San Francisco, a horrifying incident that caused him to miss the crucial early part of the season. Despite that devastating setback, Pearsall did show flashes of potential that made him a first-round pick, ultimately finishing the year with 400 receiving yards, 45 rushing yards, and 3 total touchdowns. A resilient effort, no doubt, but impacted by circumstances outside his control. But here's where this redraft scenario gets truly challenging for the Niners. In this alternate reality, they also know that star wide receiver Brandon Ayuk would suffer a season-ending injury, a torn ACL and MCL, sidelining him for the entirety of his year. And adding insult to injury, both literal and figurative, they know that dynamic playmaker Deebo Samuel would subsequently be traded away to, you guessed it, the Washington Commanders. Think about that for a second. In this redraft scenario, the 49ers know they would lose both Ayuk and Samuel for the season, on top of Pearsall's delayed start due to a non-football incident. This context, this brutal foresight, would create an even more desperate, glaring need for reliable offensive weapons, for players who could step in immediately and contribute in the passing game. This scenario, if anything, would seem to reinforce the need for a receiver, perhaps making the Pearsall pick feel even more justified, even more necessary, given the unfolding disaster at the position. However, despite this amplified need for pass catchers in their hypothetical future, Christopher Knox's redraft takes a surprising turn for the 49ers at pick number 31. Instead of doubling down on the wide receiver position, Knox has San Francisco opting to fortify their offensive line, selecting guard Dominick Puni with their first-round choice. Dominick Puni, for those who might not immediately recognize the name, was originally selected much later in the actual draft, in the 3rd round. But in his real-world rookie season, Puni proved to be an absolute rock. He played every single offensive snap in 2024 and quietly, but effectively, emerged as a reliable, powerful force on the offensive line. And his performance wasn't just about durability. It was about quality. He finished the year in 11th place overall among 136 guards, according to Pro Football Focus. Knox highlighted in his analysis. That's elite company for a rookie demonstrating immediate, high-level performance in the trenches. So, why would the 49ers, knowing they lose Ayuk and Deebo and have Pearsall delayed, choose an offensive lineman over receiver in this redraft? Knox lays out the compelling, albeit difficult, logic. It's a complicated choice because the 49ers also know that they will grant quarterback Brock Purdy a 5-year contract extension worth $265 million in 2025. Knox wrote, "One way or another, they need to ensure a strong offense around their franchise signal caller. This is the crux of the decision in this hypothetical. The 49ers know Purdy is their guy, their massive investment for the future, and protecting that investment, ensuring he has a clean pocket and a stable running game to operate behind, is paramount. While losing Ayuk and Debo is devastating for the passing attack, the foundation of any successful offense starts up front. A dominant offensive line can elevate the entire unit, giving the quarterback time to find receivers, whoever they might be, and opening holes for the running game." Knox concludes his reasoning by stating, "Having seen more Puni than a Pearsall over the course of a year, San Francisco opts for the former. In this redraft reality, Puni's immediate, proven performance as a top-tier guard in his rookie season outweighs the potential of Pearsall, whose own rookie year was impacted by significant external factors, and whose knee was amplified by unforeseen, devastating injuries and trades to other receivers." Looking back from a vantage point of this hypothetical redraft, the 49ers, armed with perfect hindsight, pass on Ricky Pearsall in the first round. Instead, they prioritize reinforcing the offensive line by selecting Dominick Puni, betting on the rookie, who provided immediate, high-level stability in the trenches over the potential of a receiver whose position group was decimated by events they couldn't predict it in real time. It's a stark reminder that while playmakers grab the headlines, championships are often won and lost in the trenches. In this Bleacher Report redraft, the 49ers choose to build from the inside out, a difficult but perhaps necessary pivot given the brutal reality of their hypothetical future. All right, Niners faithful, this redraft scenario is a tough one to swallow, isn't it? Thinking about those hypothetical injuries and trades, it really puts this decision into perspective. I want to know what you think about this Bleacher Report redraft. If the 49ers could go back, knowing everything that happened, would you take Dominick Puni over Ricky Pearsall at pick number 31? Is protecting Brock Purdy with an elite guard more important than adding a receiver, even with Ayuk and Debo hypothetically gone? Let me know your thoughts, your arguments, and who you would have drafted in the comments section right below this video. And hey, if you found this breakdown interesting, if you appreciate us diving into these complex, hypothetical scenarios that make you think about the team's decisions, please just take 1 second and hit that like button. Seriously, it helps us out a ton and ensures we can keep bringing you these kinds of detailed discussions. Drop a comment, hit the like, and let's get your take on this redraft. Thanks for watching, everyone.